Many people enjoy imitating their idols, whether it be in their attire, hairstyle, gestures, or expressions. But have you ever seen someone imitating an emperor in today's society? There exists an elderly man who emulates the ancient emperors. In Taoyuan town in the northwest, there lives an old man with the surname He. Since his youth, he has been fond of reading biographies about emperors and enjoys mimicking their demeanor, occasionally roaring like an emperor would. One morning, after getting up, the old man greeted his wife, saying, "Empress, I, your lone ruler, am going out for an inspection." With that, he left the house. This old man has always kept his head shaved, with a 3-inch long scar on the back of his head, which looks quite intimidating. Oddly enough, wherever he goes, people greet him with "Long live the Emperor, may you have a prosperous and long life." The old man would wave his hand in response, but in reality, no one actually kneels down. He walked into a noodle shop, and as soon as the waiter saw him, he said, "Ah, the Emperor has arrived, we haven't seen you for a few days, and we all miss you." After the old man sat down, he waved his hand and said, "There's no way around it, so many restaurants in town are waiting for me, I can't favor anyone, I can only go to each one." The waiter nodded with a smile and asked, "Are you still having the fried sauce noodles today?" The old man nodded, "The same as always, I have 2 heads of garlic at home, you see, I, as an emperor, really don't pick and choose." After finishing a large bowl of fried sauce noodles, the old man patted his stomach and left without paying the bill. He went straight to a small supermarket, where the owner, like the waiter at the noodle shop, showed great respect for the old man. The old man took a bottle of water and left without paying. When he reached a crossroads, a taxi ran a red light. The old man waved his hand, and the taxi stopped in front of him. The old man scolded the driver, "You dare to run a red light in town, you have quite the guts." The driver, seeing it was the old man, quickly got out of the car to apologize and asked where the old man wanted to go, offering to take him for free. The old man, in a better mood after hearing this, nodded and said, "I heard that a Henan opera troupe has come to the town theatre, take me there." The driver took the old man to the theatre and left without charging him, hurrying away. The old man swaggered into the theatre, but the ticket checker at the entrance was a red-haired boy who didn't recognize him, and he asked the old man to show his ticket. The old man angrily pointed at the red-haired boy and scolded him, then turned around angrily and left. He went into a nearby stationery store and asked the owner for brush and ink. The owner, smiling, took out paper and pen, asking what had happened. The old man quickly wrote a decree and took it back to the theatre. The theatre manager and the head of the Henan opera troupe were chatting at the entrance, and the old man threw the decree to the manager, stating that because the theatre did not let him watch the play, he decided to close the theatre for 3 months. The manager and the troupe leader quickly appeased the old man and arranged for him to watch the performance in a box on the 2nd floor, also sending him drinks and snacks. After the performance ended, it was already dark. The old man ate a basket of steamed buns at a restaurant outside and drank some liquor, then began his night patrol. He was accustomed to patrolling Taoyuan town every night, not returning home until late at night. Why patrol? In his words, "I am the emperor here, in my world, no one is allowed to make a fuss." But that night, something really happened. At 2 o'clock in the morning, the old man was on his way home when he noticed some movement in a corner. The old man ordered the thief out, who was a fleeing thief preparing to commit a crime in Taoyuan town. At that time, he was also targeting a boutique fashion store. There was only a girl in the store, about to pry the door to steal. The old man found this thief, very angry, rushed out. The thief took out a dagger, the old man did not want to die, quickly rolled out. The old man was very angry and demanded to hand over the thief. The thief was intimidated by the old man's courage, but in the end, he stabbed the old man. At that time, the girl who opened the fashion store had already woken up and witnessed all this through the window. She picked up a pair of scissors, rushed out to call for help. The town suddenly stirred up, and the lights of every household were on, and people rushed out one after another. The thief was eventually captured, and if it were not for the police to protect him in time, he might have been beaten to death by the angry crowd. But at this time, the old man was already lying on the ground, and the people in the town were mourning and crying. Hearing this, you may wonder why this old man is so respected. Even if he doesn't pay for his meals, people in the town are willing to play with him. This matter has to be traced back to 5 years ago. At that time, there was a gambler in the town, with explosives tied to his body, who broke into the town's kindergarten, took the children as hostages, and extorted money. The old man bravely fought with the gambler, was injured on the head, his clothes and body were pierced, but he successfully subdued the gambler. According to experts, if the gambler detonated the explosives, the 3-story building of the kindergarten would have been reduced to rubble, and hundreds of children would have been killed without exception. Fortunately, the old man's life was very tenacious, and he was discharged from the hospital a year later. The people in the town decided to respect him as an emperor, and all restaurants, shops, hotels, and theaters provided free services for him. A week later, Taoyuan town held a grand funeral for the old man. The old man's name was Heejinquan, and his tombstone was engraved with Heejinquan. A few years later, a group of art college students came to Taoyuan town for sketching and found this tombstone. They consulted an old man. The old man told them the story of Heejinquan and said, although our emperor he is fake, which real emperor can match him in ancient and modern times, at home and abroad?